So, the reality of being a pretty introvert, what does that look like for some of us? Well, I'm gonna give you my perspective of how being a pretty introvert has affected my life, the good and the bad. Because we are out there, but we're pretty mysterious, especially the way we go about life. So I'm just going to be explaining to you some of the realities a lot of pretty introverts face. The best part about being a pretty introvert is the privacy. I love my privacy, and that's something that I will never change about myself. I love how I can just have my day-to-day schedule and know what I'm going to give to the world and what I'm not going to give to the world. And I think it's super important, especially as a woman, to have privacy, especially when you're beautiful and when you're gorgeous, however you consider yourself. It's extremely important because sometimes you gotta remain mysterious. It kind of conceals you and it helps to protect your asset. And I just know, especially as someone who takes life very seriously, that like I don't want to be telling all my business out there, because a lot of immature people don't know how to handle certain things and will use things against you. And so as a pretty introvert, I love my privacy. Also, with privacy comes discernment, and I have this gift and I thank God every single day because I can really just dodge bullets out here, because we all know nowadays when it comes to friends and people and just people in general, like, you don't know what you're gonna get, and there's a price you gotta pay once you start investing in certain things and in certain people. And so from the start, and I had discussions with you, chat in the comments about this, and I remember one of my subscribers said, yeah, like, you know, it's just so easier probably for us introverts to kind of eye out because we're a little bit more observant and we're a little bit more reserved, and I totally agree with that. I am not a fan of just being friends with everyone. I feel like friends are people that I value, and I just can't value everyone. I can love everyone from a distance, but for you to be with me from time to time and build that deeper relationship, you cannot do that with everyone. And so be aware of people who have 100 friends. Like, it doesn't have to be 100, but like they're like, oh, she's my friend. They can probably be a little bit surface level, because as a human, there's no way that you're getting along with everyone. There's no way. It's either you like them or they don't like you. Like, there's always messiness. Like, have you heard of like group of friends that fall out and all that? It's crazy. And so, as I say, as a pretty introvert, I love my discernment. I can definitely tell. Sometimes it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's hard because, you know, people are really crafty. Like, you know, they can kind of hide themselves. But usually, if you give me some time and if I see what you're doing, if I see the signs, then I'm literally leaving and not even looking back. I think pretty introverts have more fun. I'm just saying, you know, I just feel like there's just something about us, our aura, the way we communicate, and just our shyness. There's something about us that just makes other people like us. Like, that's just all I gotta say, especially when it comes to relationship. Like, ladies, come on. Like, if you're a pretty introvert, like, have you been in situations or dates when someone's like, wow, like, you're so dreamy, you're so mysterious, like, you know, just flirting with you in a different way just because you're a pretty introvert? Like, it's the best feeling and I love it. Now, the next thing is, and it's gonna be like the negative aspects of being a pretty introvert, is the loneliness. I cannot tell you that in certain seasons of my life and in certain areas of my life, I can feel extremely lonely. And I'm working on that, and I think a lot of pretty introverts can see sometimes they can feel lonely. I know me, like, don't get me wrong, I love my alone time. I love to be to myself in my room doing my thing. It's the way I just re-energize myself and get my battery loaded, and it just helps me to reconnect, especially with myself and with God. So I love my aloneness, but it sucks sometimes, especially when you're trying to build a community. It's super hard. If you have social anxiety like me, oh honey, child, it's hard out here, right? You be scared of everything. But it's just like the loneliness factor. It can be hard and it can be depressing sometimes, but you know, through prayer and just keeping the faith, we can eventually like move past that. But the loneliness is something that comes and goes. But I say, as a pretty introvert, it's one of the negatives. I already know what I'm gonna say. You are going to be hated on if you are a pretty introvert. People are gonna be criticizing you. You're gonna have enemies, and that's for everyone. I mean, if you're an extrovert, if you consider yourself none of these, like, you're gonna have a hater, because we are human. Like, we can't like everyone, we can't like everything, and so you're going to have people who disagree with you, disagree with how you live, and it's just gonna be like that. And trust me, like, I know I have haters, and I know I'm gonna have future haters, literally. And I had past haters, and I think you're doing something good when people don't like you. And I'm gonna continue to have that philosophy. When you know you're doing something good, especially when other people at the other end know it's good, but then you still have haters, just know that you are doing something good. And so as a pretty introvert, that is literally something that I think all of us can relate to, is that jealousy factor, especially when you're beautiful and you're a person who doesn't say as much and likes to keep it short and simple. Oof, get ready. You, like, they're not gonna, a lot of people do not like that because they have trust issues and they're like, who does she think she is? Like, get ready, honey. Oh my gosh, she's stuck up. And you know, sometimes I could just do with like our resting phase, because as an introvert, you know, we're a little bit more timid. I know me, like, I definitely used to have that, like, badly a long time ago. Like, I used to be like and so, you know, people are gonna be like, who does she think she is? And I had an aunt told me that, like, yeah, like, she doesn't open up as much, and you know, all that stuff. And it's just because I was just very like introverted and shy and reserved. I just didn't know you like that. But I was gonna say something else too. What was I gonna say? People are gonna want to know your next move. You know, people like to keep tabs on other people, and you know, they like to get the tea and get, you know, all like the extra things in your life. Introverts, we're probably not going to be doing that. Some introverts may do that, but depending on who you are, especially if you're a pretty introvert, we're probably not going to tell you our next move, and we're just moving in silence. And I think that's the best thing, and I really recommend, especially if you are younger, if you are older, and if you're a pretty introvert, like, just move in silence, because then, you know, it keeps that boundary. People won't think that they can just be in your life and all that, and it just helps to just set those boundaries. Like me, I love boundaries. I don't want someone thinking that they can just control my life and have a say-so in my life, especially if they don't know me. I just find that, like, weird. Like, it's like, what? If you're a pretty introvert watching, like, I feel like we should stick together. We should all build a community to stick together, because it is hard out here. Even though we love, you know, to be an introvert, and we just love the aspect of being just this beautiful, just introverted woman, it is hard out here. Like, and I know I'm not making this up, because so much pretty introverted women have told me this video, and I could do more of like a realistic, you know, day-to-day in a life as a pretty introvert, just anything that has to do with this being introvert in general and pretty, because I love all things beautiful and pretty. You can like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and you can really support the channel, especially through commenting. I love comments. I don't get as much comments as I want to, but it's really helpful, because I just know, like, okay, like, people are giving me feedback. It's good to get the feedback. So please comment if you can. Not forcing you, but it will be super nice. It'll make my day. But I will see you ladies in my next video. Bye. When you know love is all I need, I wanna stay.